All right. Check.
Check.
Check a root.
Check.
Check.
Welcome, everybody, to the NXT TakeOver In Your House review. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined tonight by the Cleaver, Colin Andrew.
What's up? How we doing?
That's right, I'm in Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy weekend. But we still have the General with us, not just in spirit, we also have him in face and voice and sarcasm.
Because I got the Wi-Fi now.
Yeah,
the Wi-Fi.
I have the Wi-Fi, so I'm able to do stuff here.
Thank God for internet.
In my own little bunker.
We also have the West Coast professor with us, Jeff Meacham. Good to have you back, sir.
And it's great to be back. Got the Henderson Howdy shirt. You can get Greg Cherry brand on Teespring, rocking that from my girl Bailey. All as well. Decent show, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we will.
Decent show. Honestly, I thought it was going to be better.
Right?
I did too.
I thought this was going to be pay-per-view of the year, honestly, and I feel gypped.
Yeah. I do too. I mean, we started off hot, but I mean,
Did we, though? Did we start off hot?
the crowd thought we did,
Yeah.
quote
They're
unquote.
paid to.
The crowd thought we did. I mean, shit, we got a "This is awesome" chant before the match even started, folks.
We started off the show with the 6-woman tag.
I was like, Code Orange knocked it out of the park. I will give them that much.
The best part about Code Orange
Instrumental.
was seeing the background, the entrance ramp, because we had the old style in your house set design, and during their little concert, I guess
the performance.
of that one song, you got to see that pretty well highlighted. But I gotta wonder, does anybody in that band actually sing? Because I wasn't hearing it.
Yeah.
Well, from what Hunter said on the recap last night, or right when it's going up, they drove like 20 hours from Pittsburgh because that was the song intended for the show all along, and they were sitting around, I guess, over the weekend, and Hunter went, I wonder what they're doing. And they called and they said, Roger, if anything wants to come down, they got in the car. 20 hours later, they're on stage. So, it's, God bless them for the effort, at least.
I was in Pittsburgh this weekend. Good
There you
times.
go.
Good times. I should have drove 20 hours.
You should have, man. You should have broken into the set. Why not?
Wonder when they recorded this.
Oh
That's
God.
true.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what order they recorded the show in, but for the first half of the show, the general order ruled. We started, like I said, with the 6-woman tag match. Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox, and Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai with Raquel Gonzalez. I like how these two were introduced as the team of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and then Candice LeRae. Now, this match was okay for what it was. I think it would have been better as a kickoff match. This, to me, was not TakeOver quality or TakeOver caliber. However, it wasn't the only match on this card that wasn't TakeOver caliber. And the other one was kind of surprising to me. But before I break down this match, Colin. Sorry, Jerry. I got to go with the co-host.
Well, like you said, I did like the fact that they are announced as the team of. So maybe that will allude down the line because, as we all know, we have new women's tag team champions, and I remember forever ago, said they wanted to defend them across all 3 brands. So maybe we'll see something happen down the line.
I really hope so.
Who knows? But digging Candice's new hair, new music. It's like a purple gray. It just works, man. I picked Team Mutant to win this match, but it wasn't TakeOver worthy, in my opinion. To quote Joseph Connors from NXT UK, it should have been a tag team championship match. It should have been Imperium defending against Breezango, is what it should have been. I understand, yes, they need stuff for NXT TV coming up, but you could easily save this 6-woman match for NXT TV and give us a title match on a takeover, because we don't know when the next time we're going to get another takeover, so why not have your tag titles defended on the biggest stage?
Yeah, I take exception to the fact that they put on a tag match that wasn't for titles when you had a ready-built tag match in the works. We've already got a number one contender for the tag team titles, and we didn't see it. Jeff, what do you think about this match?
Good match. Just like you said, the feeling wasn't there. I enjoy everybody in this match, and for the record, I'm right there with you, Cleaver. I love Candice's new approach in general. I talked about it on the prediction show on Tuesday. That was the streaming train wreck from hell on my end. Candice's heel turn in wrestling, period, is long over freaking due. And she is embracing it with gusto. God bless her. And I hope we see more of her getting her meat in. I really want to see her challenge Io sooner rather than later. I'm just throwing it out there right now. If anybody cares in Stanford, I'm throwing it out there. Or in Florida, because it's NXT. Match was good, but again, no real oomph. And when you're sitting here going, we have a tag title match just chomping to be broadcast, nothing. So,
All right, Jerry. Opening match,
All right,
6 women.
I had picked Lorraine, Gonzalez, and Kai to win the match, but in the long run, Yim, Knox, and Shotzi kind of stole it, because Dragon Suplex out of Yim was awesome. The 450 from Knox on the outside of the ring was cool. And cattle mutilation from Shotzi Blackheart. Like, hopefully that alludes that we're going to get Daniel Bryan actually using the move in his match against AJ. That'd be great. But the match itself, I don't think probably would have existed if it weren't for Yim and Lorraine being added into the mix. I think it's probably going to be just Shotzi and Knox versus Gonzalez and Kai, but nobody was going to be interested in that match. They wanted to see Yim and Mia Yim and Candice LeRae fight again, but I guess they didn't want to stick it on TakeOver, so everything just kind of got lumped together. That's why you saw Yim and LeRae just kind of leave towards the end of the match.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But it was a good kickoff match. It wasn't really TakeOver worthy. It felt like an opening match to an NXT show.
To me, if anything, this match undermined the rest of the show. And one of the points I want to make is specifically moves. My first note here is a move that undermines an even better version of it later in the show, where Shotzi Blackheart goes to do a tope suicida and Gonzalez catches her just to kind of shrug her off sideways. Doesn't even follow through with the move or anything, just kind of shrugs her off. But then Yim actually connects a tope suicida, but then Candice LeRae goes up on the apron and she hits a Cabrana to the outside. And then after that, Knox goes off the ropes and comes off with a front flip senton off the top to the outside. Takes out everybody. See, we're back in the ring. Shotzi ducks one of those high kick face washes that Dakota Kai does, and she actually ends up kind of kicking Gonzalez. And they battle for a second, and then she gets sent into the corner and actually knocks Raquel Gonzalez off the apron. So this is setting up some dissension, which is kind of fucked up because you're finally announcing them as a team. And I agree.
I think
NXT.
that's the reason why they announced them as a team, so they can split them up.
Yeah, but NXT doesn't have any good women's teams. The last time we had an opportunity for one was Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai as a pair, and look where that went. Yeah. Every time Dakota Kai pairs up with somebody.
Yeah, it did. But the cool thing is, Tegan gets some retribution tonight.
See, Shotzi Blackheart hits an assisted, or Dakota Kai ends up actually connecting with Raquel with that face wash kick, but then Shotzi hits an assisted sliced bread onto her. Then we see the shittiest of Wizard for the 1, 2, 3. Somewhere between all of that, Candice LeRae and Mia Yim start fighting each other outside the ring and then battle to the back and are never seen again. Mm-hmm. So that's going to keep going, I guess.
And the boss man, Aaron, said the minute that happened, he knew the heels were going to lose. So
Yeah, I went
kinda
for
easy to see it.
the faces here because I had so many heels winning for the rest of the show. Figured there had to be a feel good moment somewhere, and so I got the point here, and then didn't get another one for like the rest of the fucking show. Like, oh my predictions were crap for this show. Let me tell you.
We had the same predictions.
Let me move on. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Yeah, this would be the match that would start the show probably if it hadn't been for the 6-woman tag.
I feel like
and makes sense. They like to start the show with Finn Balor.
I feel like they should have just done a pre-show and had that 6-women's match just on the pre-show and called it a day. If they would have made that first half hour pre-show, it'd have been fine.
They could have even put the men's tag team match on there.
Yeah.
The men's tag titles. What else? Jeff, what'd you think about Damian Priest and Finn Balor?
I was pleasantly surprised. I like this match a lot. I would have liked it more if it had been given a little bit more time, but I still like the way it was paced well. It was a good outing, and I think even in defeat, Priest looked very good. I think that of everybody that had one of their star-making nights or whatever, I think that honestly Damian Priest really showed that he belongs on a bigger stage than he's been the last how many years. For granted, Ring of Honor's on a small stage, but compared to WWE, of course it is. So I think he showed he belonged here tonight, and Balor looks like he's ready to go after Cole and kick his undisputed ass next. So we'll see what happens there.
Jerry?
I like the match. It kind of gave off like one of those old school Intercontinental title match feels for like an in-your-house pay-per-view. There's like, there was like really nothing on the line here except for a legacy, and Finn Balor, like his continues, and Priest is actually his is rising now because that match is actually pretty damn decent out of both of them.
Yeah.
Colin?
There were some really cool spots in this match. I almost called him Punishment Martinez. Damian Priest, he's a strong bastard. Like, I really thought at one point he was going to try to razor edge Finn Balor off the ropes and onto the steel steps and stuff like that, but he ended up eating it hard, and I don't know if you guys saw the angle that he hit, but damn, son. No, I thought it was a good match. I was not expecting the outcome with Finn Balor going over. I was really thinking, all right, we're gonna push Priest now. We're gonna give him a big win because you saw how things went with Keith Lee, and the dude has money written all over him. He's a hell of a performer, but I guess tonight wasn't the trigger pull, but maybe still he took the loss. It could bump him up a little bit, or get some type of momentum behind him. But yeah, Stefan made a funny comment saying who designed his tights tonight, Mr. Ass. But
Right.
Yeah, Damian Priest tights were a mishmash of Billy Gunn's Mr. Ass scrap tights. And mishmash is probably a meshmash.
yeah,
Anyway, let's see. Balor starts the match with an instant John Woo drop kick. He goes to end it early. At some point, comes off the ropes and gets caught with this high angle flatliner that was just sweet looking. It was like a launching flatliner. And then gets set up for a Razor's Edge, but he counters out of it. And Priest counters a curtain call into a broken arrow for a near fall. Now he finally hits a Razor's Edge, but he hits it to the apron, and it was kind of weak looking. It was weak sauce. He goes for these running back elbows into the corner, which, you guys know me, I hate a fucking back elbow. A back elbow is just, it's the worst way to finish any setup you do. Any setup. Back elbow, my ass. Anyway, he does 2 of them. Goes in for the 3rd one. And what does he get caught with? I lost my... Oh, he gets caught with the sling blade. Hits the curtain call. John Woo goes up top. Damian Priest follows him up and hits a chokeslam off the top rope for a near fall. Well, he was on the middle rope, but Finn Balor was on the top rope, so good enough. He tries to hit a Razor's Edge off the apron onto the steps that are outside. where the top has come off. Instead, Balor wiggles out of it and ends up hitting him with a forearm and knocking him, and that's the spot Colin was talking about, backwards off the apron across the steps, and that was just wicked. Let's see, back in the ring, we get a coup de grace onto Priest's back, who rolls over, catches a coup de grace to the gut. No 1916 DDT. This is pure babyface Balor. That's why I feel like Priest needed this win. Balor did not. Except for maybe they're pushing Balor to the moon as a main event babyface now. So Lottie freaking dog.
Which is why I say he's going after Cole next, is my opinion, so.
Oh, spoiler for later.
Completely scrapping his whole thing with against Imperium and Walter at this point until NXT UK comes back around.
I think with all the freaking uncertainty of the UK brand being back involved, they got to do something.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
It sucks, but
we need NXT UK invasion.
UK NXT Championship match at maybe in Dublin after they are able to do it.
I'm not having a problem with that at all, actually.
All right, let's move on. First of all, we get an old school style commercial. Adam Cole doing the Ego Pro. I don't know what this is.
Ico Pro, it's good stuff, man.
Yep.
Cool. Johnny Gargano versus Keith Lee for the North American Championship. I got a lot of notes for this match. This match went in a lot of different directions. Jerry, what do you think about the North American title match?
I was about to say, you got a lot of notes, and rightfully so. I think this was the match of the night for me. Because I was already psyched for Gargano versus Keith Lee, because if anybody was going to possibly take the belt off Keith Lee, it was going to be Johnny Gargano, especially with this new heel turn he's made. I was surprised that it went the other way, but at the same time, I wasn't disappointed because the match is just that damn good. Gargano exploited everything that he could on Lee, and Lee still powered through it all. Nailed with like a shit ton of super kicks, and whoever thought he was gonna win the match with one final beat, which used to be just a regular setup move, but now he's become his finisher. They're just fucking stupid. But the fact that pretty much the power bomb into the big black cock, that's pretty impressive looking.
I guess I'm fucking stupid because honestly, I thought the match was over with the one final beat, but that came out of after a very important spot that I called at the beginning of the fucking match.
True story.
Jeff, what do you think about this title match?
Loved it. Would have liked to see Johnny win it back, but I'm too high on Keith Lee to hate the fact that he won the match. I think that guy has upside forever, and as does Johnny. And both Johnny and Tommaso have said they want to stay in NXT, and I'm fine with that. It's just a matter of what do you do with both those guys from here now that essentially it seems like Johnny and Candice have been well, maybe not Candice, but Johnny definitely has where does he go from here? He's faced everybody that he can face, I believe, on the main event side of things. So what do you do with him now? Do you put him against Dexter? What do you do? The match itself, though, I liked it. I thought it was very well told. That Pounce was sick. I mean, you could see it coming a mile away, but it was still wonderful in execution. Somewhere Monty Brown is going, God damn. But quality stuff.
Colin?
Monty Brown's somewhere going, I'm unemployed.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that too.
I don't know what Pounce was better though, that or Cole's, but
Right, Cole's was ridiculous.
no, dude, I thought this match was very, very good. There was, besides that spot with the Pounce through the plexiglass and stuff, there was Gargano went for a toupee, and he just caught him like a baby. Keith Lee just caught Gargano like I was holding my 7-month-old earlier. Just, oh, hi, you're so cute. Like, the pure strength of this man, but it went a bunch of different ways, We saw Gargano attacking the injured hand from this past Wednesday when he just, slipped and his hand happened to fall in between the stairs and got kicked, whatever. But yeah, I was really pulling for Gargano to take the win because Keith Lee, I feel, is a credible contender, beyond credible contender for the NXT Championship, if not main roster. As much as I would hate to see him go up, but, he's had a good track record up there so far. So, but where do we go next with Johnny? Maybe we revisit Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor for a number 1 contendership for the NXT title. Who knows? I don't know. But
yeah, let's give him a shot at a championship after losing a shot at the
yeah,
championship.
I don't know. But I'm just saying it could happen down the
This
line.
is the worst way
Where's
for
it
this
go?
match to end. And I don't say that because I have anything against Keith Lee. I say that because I have everything up against... Like, I am so high on Keith Lee that I'm disappointed that he didn't win the title because he doesn't need to be the face of the mid-card division. He doesn't need to be king of the molehill. He's king of the mountain. He needs to be going for the NXT. Now, maybe they're going to take him as the North American champion, trying to go after the NXT title too. That would be fine. Don't see it happening, but that would be fine. In this case, you leave the title. You leave the title on Keith Lee, and he's still in the mid card, and you didn't give it to Johnny Gargano. So now, what the fuck are you going to do with him? Terrible decision, but good match. Let's see. Beginning of this match, Johnny Gargano comes out and he locks the door, the in your house set door. Takes the key like he's super smart, and Keith Lee comes out through the fucking garage door or whatever the fuck was on the right side. So it didn't matter. My first note in the match was actually Colin's note, was Keith Lee catching that tope suicida like a baby and then throws him up into a spirit bomb, but Gargano grabs the top rope and gets on the apron and does like a sideways super kick into Keith Lee, and then goes to do a flipping senton, and Keith Lee grabs him again, goes up for another bomb, but doesn't hit it. Johnny Gargano gouges his eyes. Let's see. He tries to escape by running up the ramp, but the door is locked, and I'm like, and he seems so like helpless, and I'm like, dude, you're the one with the key. But whatever. Anyway, door's locked, so he can't go away. So we get this awesome shot of Keith Lee beating him up from the doorbell. One of those little doorbell cameras. Anyway, let's see. We get back to the ring. Gargano takes over. He starts stretching Keith Lee's hand across the bolt for the turnbuckle down there on the bottom. That was pretty sick looking. He goes for that spring shot spear where he jumps from the apron through the ropes. And instead, Keith Lee dodges it and clubs him in the back, knocking him down. Picks him up and does this Randy Orton-esque backbreaker. Only instead of breaking it over his own back, he kind of pulls him across his knee with the arm. Where was I at? Orton. Okay. Gargano counters a pop-up into an arm bar where he's dangling from Keith Lee's arm. And twice, Keith Lee powers out of it only for Johnny to pull him back down. Then he ends up getting thrown out of it. Let's see. Gargano counters the very first big black cock attempt with a roll-up for a near fall. Keith Lee ends up hitting a pop-up choke slam, and Gargano rolls out of the ring. Let's see. He ends up hitting a tornado DDT, or a suicida, a tope suicida onto Keith Lee outside, turning that into a tornado DDT. And now he's got the momentum to win the match, but he can't get Keith Lee in the fucking ring. So he has to jump in the ring and try and get the ref to stop counting. And I'm like, dude, you edge into the ring and then roll back out, and the ref has to start back from one. Well, he's so desperate that he climbs out of the ring on the other side, and as he's coming around the corner, that's when Keith Lee hits that pounce that knocks him into the barricade through the fucking hockey glass. And that was awesome.
That was a hockey-like check was what it was.
Definitely. Keith Lee goes to carry Johnny back into the ring. That's when Candice LeRae comes out, and she tries to distract Keith Lee, but then Mia Yim comes out and attacks her. They end up running into the ring, fighting there, all the while distracting the ref. Johnny pulls out that key that he locked the door with, and he gouges Keith Lee's eye, jumps from the apron into that one final beat. Was it DDT or cutter? DDT. Mm-hmm. Yeah, only gets a near fall. hits a super kick, near fall. Super kick, near fall. Super kick, near fall.
Super kick party!
He goes to hit another super kick, I think, and Lee ends up hitting a spirit bomb, but doesn't get the pinfall. He hits another spirit bomb, lifts him up out of it, throws him up into a big bang catastrophe. Big black cock for the pinfall. Keith Lee wins.
And my track record goes to shit.
Yeah, at this point, me and Colin are 1-2.
Yeah.
And we are staring down the barrel of a very bad night predictions-wise.
C.
May I state the popular opinion? Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
One last note on this match. I think the most sense they can make right now, if they can pull it off, is have the next challenger for Keith Lee be as soon as possible and make it Pete Dunne. That's how you get the belt off Keith Lee, especially with his hand injured right now and his eyes. They even alluded to the fact that Gargano is doing pretty much joint manipulation now to make Pete Dunne proud.
What about Thatcher?
So that kind of makes sense for him to just kind of come back just to take the U.S. title off him, since he didn't theoretically lose the tag belts.
I'm okay with Thatcher too. I'll be alright with that.
If there's no North American UK champions, then there's no UK North American champions. Next case. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think we're having way too much of the real life couples thrown into this stuff here. Between Becky's gone now, granted, but we've got two couples feuding on NXT. It's like, can we have a little bit of kayfabe, a little bit of fake, make believe, folks?
If it wasn't for real life couples, we might not have Scarlett Bordeaux coming out with Karrion Kross, and for that I'm thankful.
Well, then I retract my statement 115% because I made an awesome banner out of that, so I shut the hell up now.
I'm just saying, she was on the main roster almost 2 years ago as fodder for somebody. She was enhancement talent. I remember reviewing the episode that had that match in it. They never picked her up as a wrestler. She never went to NXT, but they brought her with Karrion Kross, and so for that I'm happy. Just saying. Now, speaking of unexpected things, our next match of the night is the craziest fucking thing. Okay, I understand wanting to put the women's title match on as the main event. Feels good. Good things, right? Yeah, but see, problem is, that's not a cinematic match. This is the cinematic match. This should have been last. It was not. Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship. See, Colin, go first.
Oh, man. Well, I thought it was really, really awesome when Dream came out dressed as Negan from The Walking Dead. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, if you don't know. Also reminded...
What's The Walking Dead?
Not everyone knows. There's, might be some people and, God knows where. But who knows? But anyways. And he kind of was a mix of like a young K Quick with his hair all dreaded up. And that's what it reminded me of. Like a young Ron Killings. Coming out with that baseball bat, and we see a big ass truck. See a big ass truck from Adam Cole. Big old like F-350 raised up, fucking 6 feet or whatever. But I thought it was a good match. See, I have a weird thing. Yes, I liked the Boneyard match we got, but if it's filmed at night outside and has those weird lights, sometimes it's hard for me to see the shit. You know what I mean? 100%. You know what I'm talking about? And the weirdest thing was we had a crowd there too. And
they were in their cars.
Yeah, they were in their cars, except for that one piece of shit Intrepid, which came into place later on. I mean, we saw all the... I mean, Dream showed up in a goddamn, what was it, Lamborghini?
Lamborghini, baby.
Yeah. So he shows up in that, and then we see a fucking Dodge Intrepid. Come on, folks. We know what's happening in that Intrepid. That comes into play later. I was really surprised by the end of this match because I was really calling for this is the spot where Cole is going to finally drop the title. But I guess there's bigger and better things planned for Velveteen Dream at this point, I guess. Or
yeah, I think everybody thought Velveteen Dream was winning the title here. It just felt like a given. I mean, Adam Cole has been champ for over a year now. Milestone achieved. Time to move on. You know, it's cool sometimes when you have the championship for a year or more for somebody. But this is getting to be way too much. Bayley's had the fucking SmackDown Women's Championship for over a year. Fucking this title was over a year. Brock Lesnar just finally lost the Universal title after having it fucking for a year and a half.
Other than Brock, because that was Mania when it just started, do you think the quarantine has a lot to do with that, though? Or is it just no freaking booking strategy whatsoever?
Well, in the case of the SmackDown Women's Championship, there's nobody over there for her to lose it to other than Sasha Banks, and they're a team together, so...
And champions together.
Yeah, now they're champions together, so...
So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, COVID could have some stuff to do with it, but at the same time, if you're still putting shit weekly, why not try to give us the best product you can?
In the case of Adam Cole, there's tons of people in NXT that would make great champs. Most of his defenses over the last year have been against guys that should have been champ at one point.
And the fact that Undisputed Era gets involved 9 times out of 10 in his matches. So.
Which I don't necessarily have a problem with, because you figure the Horsemen did that for how many years, and everybody's okay with it, because it was Flair.
So did the NWO with Hogan.
Yeah.
Or, I was going to say, the NWO with Hogan, and Dream even referenced Hogan again, if you look back to his jacket. So, there's all kinds of tie-ins to the past, but I've said it for a long time on all of our shows across ODQ or whatever, the time for a year-plus champion has long since passed. So.
You don't build new people by holding a title hostage.
Yeah.
Now, if they are defending the championship all the time, I can understand, especially if they're just that damn good. But Cole doesn't defend the championship all that much. Now, the fact that we haven't had an NXT TakeOver in a while, helps that. But even still, it used to be defended on NXT programming a lot.
Yep.
Not anymore. Any other thoughts on this match, Jeff?
No, it's. I was talking with a good friend whose opinion I value very much on the WWE product, and he and I were talking about Cena versus Bray and Undertaker versus AJ felt special, right? They were cinematic, but they felt like those things needed the cinema. Money in the Bank was okay, not great, but good. This felt like going through emotions.
Yeah, this didn't need the cinema.
No.
It didn't need the camera cuts. A lot of the camera angles gave us angles of light from the cars, from their headlights, that just made it hard to see what was going on. And maybe that was the point, but if that's the point, then the guys in the ring aren't doing their jobs properly.
Yeah.
Jerry, what do you think about the title match?
Pretty much what you're saying. The fact that a lot of camera placements was just really shitty, and there was too much dialogue coming out of Velveteen Dream for me to actually think after a bit that he was going to be winning, because he was doing too much that talking crap that he does. And the more Velveteen Dream talks in a match, the more likely he's going to lose. So the whole Uber part, that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
maybe 5 seconds. But couple things I really loved about the match, or actually didn't really like, was one, still no O'Reilly. There was an awesome ECW flashback with all the chairs being thrown into the ring. I was having flashbacks to Public Enemy just being fucking buried in them. And Cole hitting Velveteen in the Dreamsicle was actually pretty damn funny.
The Dreamsicle.
This match did not need the gimmick. It did not need it to be cinematic. I know that this is sort of the era where one match per pay-per-view gets that cinematic treatment. And I'm fine with NXT having that too. But if they were going to do that, they should have done it with Tommaso Ciampa and Karrion Kross, because that match needed to be turned into something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what it was not enough of anything for anybody. But we will get to that. This match. All right. Cole, almost immediately toward the beginning of this match, tries to leave. Tries to drive off in some car. The car that Colin mentioned. What was it?
Dodge Intrepid.
There we go. Dodge Intrepid. Dream takes his Negan bat and attacks the car. After Cole gets out and they battle some more, an Uber driver pulls up and yells, "Did somebody order an Uber?" And I don't know why she had both sides of her van open, but they battle into the van and out the other side, and then back up the street. This is in the back lot. It's got to be Full Sail. It's got to be their theater department, because you have got all of these storefronts that look like they are for absolutely nothing. There's nothing there. Just storefronts. It's like Sesame Street.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's legit looks like Sesame Street.
Hey Arnold or something.
Yeah. Let's see. Dream chases Cole, and Cole disappears into one of the stores, and Dream finds the open door, opens it, and gets a face full of fire extinguisher. That was fun, because that fire extinguisher didn't go nowhere, and it just made it even harder to see with their camera angles and shit. Let's see. They get back to the ring, and Dream comes off the top with an axe handle to ringside, but Cole counters with a super kick. They get out a bit away from the ring, back to the car, and Dream ends up power slamming Cole onto the hood of that fucking Intrepid, then gets a ladder, then climbs to the top of the ladder, and just as he's about to hit probably the Purple Rainmaker off the ladder onto the car, we had a car pull up and the horns start blaring. This was, I swear to God, 2 seconds after he asked why we haven't seen the Undisputed Era yet, they roll up and start blaring the horn. This is a distraction enough for Cole to get up and climb the ladder. But then, as they get out of the car, fucking Dexter Lumis shows up. And he starts beating the crap out of both of them. And fucking Velveteen Dream pushes Adam Cole off the ladder. He comes down onto the car in the sickest landing I have ever seen anything ever. Because he goes perfectly square, like the halo coming off of an angel's head, perfectly square into the windshield that just breaks all behind him. And it's because it's a windshield, it doesn't all break all the way through, but it leaves that print.
Imprint, yeah.
So he's laying there for a minute while Dexter Lumis is taking care of Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. He ends up shoving him into a trunk and driving him off, much like his caricature. Not exactly the same, but close enough for me.
Right.
Let's see.
And not for nothing, I'm glad they did that spot, because when Dream was attacking the Intrepid with the bat, I'm like, why is he hitting the glass? Why is that was wrong.
Sugar glass.
Storytelling, folks. Wait for the arc.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that big gash on Adam Cole's arm was actually makeup.
it might have
I'm
been.
pretty sure it is too.
The truth of the matter is that
What was the telling factor about that was the fact that the referee was not wearing gloves.
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but sugar glass can cut you too. I mean,
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah.
if
The fact
you
that Drake wasn't wearing gloves is what set it off for me.
if you don't believe sugar can cut you, then you've never sat there and worked on a candy cane long enough to poke somebody in the fucking eye.
It's a very scary thing. Working in the holiday section like I have, it's not pleasant when that shit gets sharp.
So let's see. We've got Dream countering a Panama Sunrise, pops it right up into a Dream Valley Driver, but only gets a near fall. He sets Cole down in a chair that he sets up in the ring, goes up top, and hits a Purple Rainmaker onto Cole through the setup chair. Still can't get a pinfall. He starts picking up Cole and talking smack. Cole uppercuts him right in the gooch. Hits a Panama Sunrise onto a pile of steel chairs that Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish emptied out of the Shock the System giant truck into the ring. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole remains champion.
I think this was Velveteen Dream's send-off match, though. I think he's going to go to SmackDown.
Maybe.
I said it in the NXT chat. So Aaron talked about. He said, "R.I.P. my lead in the scorekeeper." I said, "R.I.P. the Dream if he doesn't go up like tomorrow."
Yeah, maybe he's the hacker.
That I hadn't
That'd be
thought
cool.
about that till you
That
actually
would be
just
really
said
neat.
that. It would make the most sense because he's got that twisted sense of everything. So maybe.
Put his hair. I mean, who is the?
Take note of the fact that today's Prince's birthday, so it would have actually kind of made sense for him to win the belt, and for him not to show up in a little red Corvette, which is bad timing.
Well, they even mentioned that on the air that they were surprised it wasn't a red Corvette.
I mean, who was the original proprietor of GDTV, which became GTV? Had to be Goldust, right? Who's the most?
We never did find out, but yeah, it's.
Who's the character most like Goldust in this generation?
That'd be the Dream.
Velveteen Dream. 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon, man.
That's it. That's a vicious game to play. You don't know what the hell you're doing, by the way.
I prefer 7 degrees of eggs and bacon. So we
I
got.
thought you didn't like bacon.
I don't like bacon. So we've got this guy in the back who's been around for 30 years. He used to do all the announcements for the original In Your House. Yeah, I Pettingill, something like that. He's hawking merch, and
Still got it, too.
he drops the 900 number, and he's like, "Wait, what? There's no 900 number anymore. What's going on?"
Internet.
So he ends up telling him about WWEshop.com, but he said you can share us on Facebook. We're blowing up on Twitter and on Instagram, and the largest of all, AOL group chat.
And go back to show DX.
Throwback.
Yeah, and he showed DX in the back. Of course, it was just Hunter, Shawn Michaels, and Road Dogg, but showed him back there hunting, pecking on a computer. It was great. An old computer too.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that thing wasn't even plugged in.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
It looked
Well-
like Michael just looked for a mouse the entire time, but couldn't.
Well, yeah. Well, that was a throwback to one of the early pay-per-views where they had Sean in the chat backstage, and he's like sitting there.
That was
Yeah,
'97.
Like what the fucking? So yeah, it was just a cool little throwback.
So it might have been the briefest DX showing up on a show that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Speaking of brief,
Yeah.
Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. This match, I blinked and might have missed. Son of a bitch. Jeff, what'd you think about Karrion Kross here? Don't mention Scarlett. We know what you think about Scarlett. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Anything you want to talk about?
Well, I thought she was even more over the top than she was when she debuted. I thought the screaming thing was, again, I love her, and I will look at her and I can mute if I need to. That's fine. But it's just too much. But the match itself, it's exactly what needed to happen. Kross needed to come in and whoop that ass, and that's exactly what he did. Very well done. Very well presented. Very well laid out. Whoever's producer on that needs a bonus when they get home.
Jerry?
Like, one of the first things they talk about as they're coming down the ramp is that Scarlett Bordeaux says that she puts the hot and psychotic, and that pretty much sums up every last relationship I've ever had. It kind of
oh boy.
have realization about every relationship I've ever been in. So, but the match itself, you knew Ciampa was probably going to drop it since Cross is being built up as this monster heel at this point, but I didn't expect him to lose as hard as he did. It was surprising, and I'm not really sure what they're going to do with Ciampa after this or with Cross. So I'm interested to see what happens. But fairy tale ending reversal into the standing F5, that was just sick looking.
Cross moves on to Keith Lee. Colin.
Oh, yeah. Good call. So I made a comment to him earlier when we were watching this match, and I was saying that Tommaso Ciampa is there to put guys over, and he put him over tonight. Very short match. Very, 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 very short. I was not expecting that by any means, but I did enjoy what we got, and Ciampa took it like a champ. Yeah. Yeah. You know?
I know we were both hoping for a little bit more moveset out of Karrion Kross. We did see a few things. He does this cool, you know how you get, they'll get a guy into the corner and they'll start beating on him. The most iconic corner beat I can ever think of is the Undertaker when they quote throwing soup bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One with Foley especially.
Fucking in there weaving and shit, even though he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Well, his version of beating you up in the corner is setting you in the corner, standing there, and then just kicking you in the face. Not a running big boot. Just lifting up his foot and kicking him in the face, and that's what he did. And I was like, that's different. I mean, we see the running boot all the time, but never just, What a reach this guy's got. See, he hits Northern Lights with that float over into sort of a holding clothesline. It kind of looks like what Braun Strowman does, where he holds the guy back and then clubs him over the chest. Only he follows through with a full lariat. Let's see, Ciampa does get a little bit of offense in here. Sends him outside, and as soon as he comes back in, hits him with a Widow's Bell, but he does not get a pinfall off of it. He hits several running knees. Goes for that fairy tale ending, but Kross counters and into this, what can best be described as a release F5. Picks him up for a fireman's and then just kind of twists and throws him off. And then picks him up into the cross jacket, and Ciampa didn't quit. He didn't tap. He passed the fuck out. And Karrion Kross wins. I agree about the entrance, but not about the screaming. I don't mind Scarlett looking like she's singing with the music. What I mind is the crazy, like, interpretive dancing that she's doing in the ring around Kross. It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons when you had Nelson and what's his name? Wiggum's son.
Ralph.
Yeah, where Ralph is like dancing around him as they're walking down the street.
It's going like that and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I just. Anyway, she looked hot as fuck. One of my actual notes here is that Scarlett looks like a wet dream's wet dream. Wrapped in a wet dream, dipped in wet dream sauce.
Yeah, I am not going to disagree with how ridiculously amazing she looked, okay? But just, the whole dance thing, it just weird.
She had this stringy wrap black weave thing.
Something for school to have one of those little flag things.
If that was at my school, I wouldn't have graduated. Let me throw that out there now.
I would not be against her coming out with a color guard flag and doing something with a flag or like a rifle or something instead of what she's doing, because it would make more sense. It would make more sense.
No, would Joss have his logo on a flag and just like be waving it?
Somebody needs to teach her how to do color guard and get that going, because everybody's got a tapestry now.
It's true.
All right, before we make our way to the main event, we want to send our best thoughts and prayers and wishes out to Robert Stone, who is dejected as fuck.
Yeah.
He looks like he hasn't eaten in 3 days. He's just hanging out by the giant NXT logo, just stroking the N. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why.
Former Talk Wrestling guest Robert Stone, by the way. Let me throw that out there.
Hey, gotta plug it. Shameless plugs whenever you can.
Somewhere.
So, we are on to the main event. The main event for the evening is the NXT Women's Championship Triple Threat match. Charlotte Flair is defending against Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley, and what a match.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, hell yeah. This match was everything, including a bag of chips. Not perfect. Very rarely do we ever see a perfect match, but pretty damn close. Considering the ending, I understand now why this was the main event and not the cinematic match. But I also don't understand why, the cinematic match was the one it was and not Kross versus Ciampa. But whatevs.
Yeah.
Whatevs. Let's start with Jerry. It's been a while since you got to go first on the main event. It's been a while. Nice shirt, by the way.
Okay, let's back this up a little bit first. What match do you say was going to be the sleeper match of this show?
This one, yeah, this is true. I said this
Yeah.
was going to be the.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And how did I say this match was gonna fucking end?
But exactly the way it fucking ended.
Like even with the finish, like the actual finish of the match, you said it was gonna be the moonsault with the.
Literally.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
He said Charlotte is going to put on the figure 8, and Shirai is going to go up top and hit the moonsault either on Charlotte or on Rhea. He said it would make more sense if she hits Ripley with it and pins her while the figure 8's still on. And that's exactly what happened.
Damn, I picked Rhea to regain, so I would have never called that in a million years, Jerry. That's pretty damn good.
So did we.
Well, they needed Shirai to win the belt because, like you said a little bit ago, we want to see her versus Candice LeRae again. And this time around, if you did the roles reversed and played a heel in the face type situation.
Right.
But the fact that we got to hear the words Rhea planted Flair, and she actually got hit by a plant, it was just beautiful. Everything about this match was everything I was hoping it was going to be. We got to see like a whole bunch of chops out of Flair's. Sick chops. And the fact that Shirai ends up pulling out the win and like Flair now can go back to SmackDown and challenge Bayley and take the belt off of her at this point. That everybody wins in this match except for seemingly Rhea Ripley, which sucks.
I'm going to disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. I think Rhea does amazingly well when she is the hunter, when she is chasing, because that build toward her and Shayna was brief but bombastic. It was so well done. This is going to be something, I dare say it's going to be better than Rhea's chase of Shayna, because you're going to see Io face Candice, you're going to see Io face a couple other people, and then eventually Rhea's going to be like, you know what, bitch, that's my title, and yeah, you beat me, but Charlotte was involved too, and she had my legs, so what am I supposed to do, kick out with no legs? Not going to happen. So there's greatness approaching for Rhea Ripley too, and like everybody has said, like I've said since before Mania, she's 23 years old. Upside forever. Io needed this more than either of them did. Io is going to be a great champion, transitional perhaps, but she's going to be a great champion. She's going to carry it well, and as you said, Stefan, or Jerry, excuse me, Charlotte can go back to SmackDown and mix things up with
Raw.
Bayley and Sasha again. Go to Raw and help that division, because with a pregnant Becky, Raw's in trouble.
She's technically a Raw superstar.
Well,
I'm actually really surprised Asuka did not show up at the end of that pay-per-view to give like Io Shirai a hug or something in the middle of the ring. Or Kairi Sane in that manner.
Well, I think they're trying very hard to keep everybody apart as far as storyline-wise. They're trying to keep the brands separate. They have the stupid, whatever they're calling the wild card this week thing. But,
they've already made mention that they've actually teamed like outside the
Right.
WWE and
And-
NXT.
I think the whole point of the celebration at the end, if you took to Twitter shortly after, there was the classic pose with Hunter. Hunter was on the apron with Io, doing the Hunter point. So we got that. It was funny. Hunter, no suit. He's in a freaking his t-shirt and whatever, because he's just like whatever. I don't give a shit. So I think that we're gonna see Io really go far enough to be worth Rhea beating.
Colin.
no, with Becky being gone, I know Bianca and Shayna just came up to Raw, but couldn't you bring in Rhea to go after Asuka? At this point, what's there for her to do in NXT? Besides win the championship again.
Again,
Well,
right now.
See, what I'm wondering is, would she have lost the title at Mania? Because I still say there was a VC issue that we didn't hear about.
Yeah, it had to be, for sure. And I think that's the only reason why.
She's going to hold up as the main babyface female on SmackDown, or on NXT, because without her, who do you have? Mia Yim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But I thought the match was great. I was really surprised that it was the main event, but now I get why. Because honestly, your main event should be your world championship, in my opinion. But again, this is a world championship, I guess, because it's the women's, whatever. But
Shh, don't let your wife hear you.
yeah, she's everyone went to
The
bed.
women's division in NXT is probably the best one, and at this point, like, I actually hold that title in higher regard than the NXT championship.
Yeah, I mean,
actually defended a lot more, and the matches are pretty damn quality.
no, we saw some really cool things in this match, though. I was a big fan of Io diving off the frickin' house. That was tight. I'm glad that the stage was used in some type of fashion, because when we were watching it and Gargano locked that door, he was hoping Keith Lee was going to break through the fucking front door.
Yeah. When Gargano came out, he came out first and locked the door, so I was hoping Keith Lee was going to bust through it. No such luck.
Or at least when we were getting that up close doorbell angle, someone go through it. But so I'm glad the set got used a little
Maybe
bit.
it's my inner architect, but I was like, why the fuck? Who the fuck has windows like that on their house? Because like it was Charlotte threw Io into there, like the window went inward. I'm like,
1995 house design.
Yeah.
I mean, no, definitely enjoyed the match. Well-deserved win to Io, but I was on Team Rhea for sure.
Well, this was hard hitting from the beginning. Let's see. I've got Ripley missing a running senton off the apron. Immediately, Charlotte Flair throws her into the barricade, and we're talking upside down into both the barricade and the hockey glass. Back in the ring. Oh, my favorite spot of the match. Charlotte Flair puts a lion tamer on Io Shirai, and the tiniest of pinky camel toes appears. And it was right there, folks. It was right there.
It's like a peach. And just went
Just
plug it in the tree.
now, and to be fair, she does it to herself later, because after she wins the match, she gets in, and she gets up on the corner with the belt and sits there, and then does this back bend from sitting on the top turnbuckle, and there it was again. But I digress. See, we saw Flair hit a double spear. This was a pretty good spot. This was after Io and Ripley, they both connected with a right-hand punch that knocked them both down at the same time. So this was kind of like the breakdown. They get back up. They start fighting. Turn around. There's Flair. She hits a double spear. Doesn't get one pinfall. Doesn't get another pinfall. And then, let's see. Shirai counters a riptide into a cross body, but doesn't get a pinfall off of it. Oh, that's after Charlotte went for a moonsault. She set them both up for a moonsault. Comes off the top, doesn't hit either one of them. Let's see. Shirai hits, they call it the bullet train. It's that running meteor into the corner. But immediately after she rolls out of it, Charlotte Flair runs up behind her and hits a natural selection. Doesn't get a pinfall, though. This all ends up spilling out of the ring after Flair goes for a figure eight. Rhea grabs her by the hair and yanks her out of the ring, and they battle up to the stage after Io Shirai gets thrown through what looks like a front window and breaks the Tron behind it, so it starts starts pixelating. There we go.
Snakes and sparklers.
And then they fight a little bit, and then they turn around, and there's Io on top of the fucking door. Right in the middle of the stage. She dives off onto both of them. I think it was at this point that I realized Io was probably going to win. Let's see. Rhea catches Io trying to go for a Frankensteiner on her back in the ring, and she holds her there while Flair runs up and does a big boot into Io, who just gets shrugged to the floor. We saw a riptide off the top to Flair, but Io actually gets back in the ring and breaks up the pin. This was where I thought Ripley was going to win. I mean, a riptide off the top rope, right?
Just how she won the first time.
But she's not going to pin Charlotte Flair. They're not going to let that happen. So Ripley counters Io Shirai's wheelbarrow attempt into what she calls it the prism trap. And that's her inverted four-leaf clover. She's holding that on. Charlotte brings in a kendo stick and starts beating the shit out of both of them. She hits a spear to Rhea Ripley, puts her in the figure eight, and while she's bending back into the figure eight, we cut to the camera that's up above the ring, and just as I said Just as Jerry had predicted a few days before, there's Io Shirai, ready for the moonsault. She drops her knees right on the top of Rhea Ripley's head and pins her 1, 2, 3. Io Shirai is your new NXT Women's Champion, and that brings us to the end of the main event. Here on the main event, we like to use this guy, our special guest, Jerry, the General's 5-star rating system. I think we're going to let Jeff, Mr. Meacham, good old JM, the West Coast Professor. Any other nicknames?
Some of them are retired now, thank God.
Other than Sex Machine?
Well, that's retired at least 6 years. Anyway, not that I told too much information about my life just then, but that's okay. So basically, I'm going to give this show that I've ruined my life forever 4 out of 5 stars. Only out of 5-star because I feel the cinematic was not needed for the world title match. I feel the 6-woman tag could have been easily a tag team title match with Imperium and Breezango. So had they had those 2 matches be different, probably get a 5-star. It was a very solid show, much better than I heard a lot of the No DQ reviews give it in their show. So there you go.
Jerry.
I'm gonna probably give it a 4 as well, but I'm gonna give it an extra quarter for me being fucking right about the main event.
Right.
I mean, I would too.
Colin.
Like I would have some on this paper clip. It was 3 and 3, so that's not too bad for me. Because I usually get like next to nothing.
2 and 4.
Yeah,
Oh, I've never done this poorly on an NXT show.
never.
So,
I was gonna say, I think the only one that went up in score overall was me on the whole no DQ side of things.
the whole takeover itself, like it kind of felt like just a souped up version of a regular NXT on USA show.
Right.
There wasn't really anything. There wasn't anything spectacular for Io winning the belt. Everything else could have been like. Everything else was kind of like fodder. The set was cool. The nostalgia was great. So I give it a 4 and a quarter.
Colin?
I'm gonna have to go with a 4 as well. I mean, honestly, I feel that most of this pay-per-view could have been taped after a really great NXT takeover for the next week or weeks of before they started going live. I did enjoy a lot of things. The NXT Championship match could have been better in my opinion, just filmed differently or something. But I'm gonna go with a 4 overall. I'm excited for the fallout more than anything. I'm not gonna give an extra quarter or anything like that. Good for Io, bad for my predictions. So I did dog shit tonight. So I don't know. I might go back and rewatch it again. I might have missed some stuff, this, that, and the other. But for now, I'm gonna stick with a 4.
Yeah, our viewership of it was kind of patchwork tonight, but got it all in. I'm going to call the match itself a 4 and a quarter. I liked it. I guess I liked it better than you guys did. Like, for me, it slapped. Like, this was a really good match. Like, it was fast-paced from beginning to end. I don't think I saw one rest hold in the entire fucking match. They went outside. They used the principle that there are no countouts or disqualifications. We saw Io Shirai not only go through a window, but come off the top of a house. Like, what more could they possibly do? I think this was better than basic great, so I'm not going to call it any better than 4 and a quarter, though. Jeff?
The rating was for the main event, not for the whole show?
Yeah, I thought for TakeOver we do the whole show, Stefan.
No. It's always the main event.
Well, in that case, yeah, 4 and a quarter, at least if not 4 and a half. Holy shit, wait a minute. Wait, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because the match was ridiculously good. I would do the whole show here.
Or, I don't know. We always do the main event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're doing for the main event, then I'm definitely saying 4 and a half for that match. That match was unbelievably well done.
You want to change yours, Jerry?
Well, I changed mine to 4.5.
Yeah.
Colin?
Oh no, if Rhea won, I would have gone up, but nah, I'm cool.
There you go.
I'm going to start it at 4.25, and I'm going to leave it at 4.25. I'm not going to give anything special off of this show. The best match on the show was the North American Championship match. And that was the only match on the show, I think, that was NXT TakeOver worthy.
It really was.
And I hate to not give credit to Finn Balor and Damian Priest, but that match was main event NXT TakeOver on USA. Not even live. Fuck if it's live or not.
No, that would have been the middle. That would have been the middle match of the night.
Oh, the one that keeps you from the 8 o'clock hour into the 9 o'clock hour? Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Precisely, yeah.
I think I set my
Expectations
way too high for this takeover, and I probably have paid for it. But whatever, it was better than nothing.
Yeah, for sure. It's better than not having anything since Portland back in February. So,
Well, that brings us to the end of this review. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Colin, for being my guest host and allowing me into your beautiful home.
thank you.
Thank you for Jerry for joining us.
Yeah, man. It's different on this side of the spectrum.
I know, right?
I feel weird.
I feel very out of place amongst you three bearded fellows. So I just shaved this morning. I feel like I should have waited at least a day.
Jeff, just let it go.
Should have just dropped one in.
It only takes time and patience, man.
Right? Just say fuck it. You'll love yourself later.
It's easier to grow a beard than it is to shave one every day.
Exactly.
This is also true.
So let's...
Shut one out like I did.
In a perfect world, I'd be having a playoff beard till about this time, but the Kings suck that bad. So, it's what it is.
All right. Well, let's break down the plugs. Let's start with you, Jeff.
You can get this shirt, as well as a lot of other shirts that Greg Sherry designs at teespring.com/store/Greg Sherry brand, including the one Jerry's wearing to my right. That's a Jerry Slaughter shirt exclusive. There you go. Colin is just showing off his. There you go. The armbar. I dig it. This is the Henderson. This is my girl Bailey, my best friend in this world. She's got a shirt. I've actually got like 3 or 4 Greg Sherry shirts hanging right up there right now for future use. Teespring.com/store/Jeff-Meacham-Network for my stuff that I actually, my shows and the Meachamania shirts, of course. YouTube.com/Jeff Meacham for my video shows. Anchor.fm/Jeff Meacham Network for the audio versions. And tomorrow, or today, depending on when you're watching this, Monday at 7 Eastern, Talk Wrestling is back live with a brand new computer to work on with. So there you go.
Oh, this is going to be weird. Hey, Colin, what about your plugs?
Wow. Great. You can find me on my YouTube channel at the Cleaver Colin Andrew. You can go to Teespring, Greg Cherry brand. I have a t-shirt up there as well you can buy now. Twitter.com, nodq.com/Colin takes you to my Twitter page. Colin Andrew26 on Instagram. Aftermatch Wrestling on fucking Instagram as well, and Aftermatch Rest on Twitter, because we take the ling out of wrestling.
Whatever the fuck that means.
So, this has been cool, for sure. And I'll be on this side of the screen next time you see any of these videos, more or less.
Yeah, probably.
We're like, what, 8 hours apart, something like that? I don't know.
7.
7?
7-hour drive.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. That's going to be fun. Better than 11. It was 11 between
Yes.
Kentucky and Pennsylvania. Whew, what a drive that is. Woo-wee.
It's going to be fun. Next year we got the Beach's wedding.
Well, meanwhile, you can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up, it's Stefan R. Osborne. OSBORNE. As always, that R stands for
Fuck bomb.
restricted. You can also find The Gentleman on Twitter.
At General_JSJ, my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR.
Exclamation point.
Whoa, all right.
And you took the
But yeah,
paper
also
idea.
on the Aftermath Wrestling Facebook group. You can find us there, and you can also find me on Instagram at _gentleman_slaughter.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at osborne.stefan, where I have no content, but I've got like a whole bunch of followers. So follow me, won't you? You
Maybe just maybe he'll post something someday.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. I'm trying my best. You know, the whole gimmick is that I don't clog your news feed. So I try not to even share stuff about myself. You know,
Right.
people tag me, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool. You can tag me, but I'm not going to share it. Because as soon as I share something, I'm clogging your news feeds.
That's right.
You can find the channel and help us out at Patreon at Stefan R. Osborne if you'd like to do so. But if you just have a few moments, the best way to help us out is by dropping a few clicks here. Let's have a click party. If you like the video, click the like button. Over,
Super click party, everybody.
Super click party. If you like all of our videos, that's a total ripoff of Wrestle Talk, I'm pretty sure. If you like all of our videos, click the subscribe button over there underneath the makeshift Jerry. They're the Jer Poster.
He's still darker than me.
The Mimic.
Ooh. Am I too dangerous?
They're about the same height, ladies and gentlemen, but there is no comparison. Jerry is a giant. I mean, just look at the size of the heads, you know. When you see me and Jerry, Jerry looks like, makes me look like a wee baby. I'm just saying. Also, help us out with the click. So subscribe to the channel if you like all our videos. If you want to catch us when we go live, this should have been one of those occasions, but, you know, things happen. Click that bell icon. When we go live, it'll let you know. You can come in, join us in the chat room. And if you'd like to help our channel grow, click this share button. That's in there somewhere. Share us on Facebook, Twitter, share us on Instagram, smoke signals, bathroom doors, stalls.
Pornhub's a great place.
Mail pigeon.
If you've got a grandmother, have her crochet aftermatch wrestling. If you can actually get that done, send it to me, please. I'll pay for it.
You guys have a logo first, Stefan.
Oh, this is true. Crochet me a logo.
We get that actually on YouTube.
Crochet me a logo contest. At least I won't have to spend $20 on a t-shirt I don't like. For the General, Jerry Slaughter. For the West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham. For the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. The best makeshift co-host a guy could ask for. Thank you for joining us. I'm the Rated R viewer, Stefan Osborne. We appreciate it, and we will see you in NXT time.
Viva la Resistance.